twende pole pole. Twende. jukumu letu sisi kama binadamu tuhakikishe ya kuwa tumepinga maovu yote tunayofanya katika jamii yetu, maovu yote ambayo yafanyika katika majumba yetu, maovu yote ambayo yafanyika katika miji yetu, maovu yote akarudi kwa Imam Husayn akimuuliza, tukawa mkono ni nani pia hapa nikakufikisha in their loyalty and support for Islam to stand up against oppression and injustice. They made it clear that no one is superior or inferior to the other because of the color of the skin or because of their accents or where they are from. Rather, we all stand here to follow the message that Allah إما أحكم لك في الدين وإما تغير لك في الغرب. Whether you people are rulers, either we are your brothers in faith or we are your equal in humanity. Karbala is a university of diversity. On the day of Ashura, when the counsel of the Prophet was mercilessly killed, a newly freed slave fought against man's felony. Everybody, be it white, be it black, be it brown, were all fighting for one cause. In a time where tribalism, racism, and division tears communities apart, we need to create spaces of mutual respect. As communities, we need to stop judging people by race, by wealth, or by status. But we need to work with others to build a better society, regardless of our religion, regardless of our differences. We serve humanity together, just the way the camp and the banner of Husayn did. لِنَدْعُ اللَّهَ جَمِيعًا لَبَّيْكَ يَا حُسَيْنِ لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسين.
Kila mtu anabaki Halo. Hujashika. Sio sema ishia na sishia, hujashika mara moja swali hapa ndani bana. Wewe utaona wamevaa kanzu gani?
Okay, so we are gathered here today, this evening. This is called a procession, and we are gathered here in this procession to remind the public and to spread the information that we are here to commemorate and remember the sacrifice of the grandson of the Holy Prophet of Islam, who sacrificed his life together with his companions and stood against oppression, against tyranny.
Why is Muharam considered especially significant for Shia Muslims?
Muharram is considered significant for Shia Muslims because this is the month, especially on the 10th day of the month, the grandson of the Prophet of Islam by the name of Al-Husayn ibn Ali, peace be upon him, was brutally murdered and sacrificed in the plains of Karbala, which is a place situated in Iraq, modern day. And they gathered around him and they butchered and murdered his family, his women folk and his children, just because the tyrant and the oppressive regime of the time wanted him to pay allegiance to him and to live a life of humiliation.
This is, I'm sure, all over the world.
This is commemorated all over the world. This is commemorated in Iran, Iraq, Pakistan, India, East Africa, Lebanon, UK, all over the world.
Why is mourning and reflection emphasized during this period?
Mourning and reflection is emphasized. The mourning occurs due to the remembrance of the sacrifice of this great man, the sacrifice of his family, from the 6-month-old child up to a 13-year-old to a 90-year-old old man. And the reflections are important because the name Husayn, peace be upon him, and what he stood for unity, he stood for diversity, he stood against oppression, he stood against racism, and we remember him till today.
How has the way Muharam changed over time or across different countries?
Well, since the advent of the modern era and technology, I would like to urge the public, there are many websites, for example YouTube channels, in which people can learn about who this great man was, what was his mission, what was his objective and aim. And in channels like, for example, you can check Google, you can WhatsApp who is Husayn, and you will get all the information required.
Give me your full name and your position.
I am Dr. Imran Versi, and I am the guest speaker in Mombasa for these 10 nights of Muharram.